Saber fans, your old pal Megtooth Sith. This is a video for Eric Sarmiento on a demonstration of battle mode. This is Eric's Graflex. He also has his Battlebrick down there that does all these same functions. If you wait until after this portion of the video, I'll show you a demonstration of number one, the chassis and the Battlebrick. And if you stick around, I'll show you how the button functions work in the second part of the video on the Graflex, but it'll work the same on Battlebrick. So number one, Eric sent this saber to me. This was a saber that I did the install on previously, and he sent it to me for some upgrades with some new fonts, new blade styles, and the upgrade to OS 5.7 with battle mode. So this saber is equipped with 3 ways to turn it on without touching buttons. They're called gesture ignitions. The first one is a swing, and I'm going to turn it off by twist. And a twist is a back and forth, but done rapidly. The next one is a thrust, twist off, thrust down, twist off, and the third one is twist on. So when the saber's off like this, you can twist it on, and remember the twist is back and forth, and there it twist on. Now, when you're in battle mode, the power button no longer works, Eric. The only way to turn the saber off when you're in battle mode is to twist it off. Now, the cool part about battle mode is when you ignite the saber in battle mode and you get into battle with another saber, it gives you lockup until you pull it away. I'm not touching any buttons to do that. It's all automatic, based on motions. Now, the second cool thing about battle mode is going to be stab or melt. And the melt color changes as you twist the hilt. Melt will stop when you pull the blade away. And also, you have tip drag. So to get tip drag, you simply stab the saber into the ground and you have tip drag. And tip drag stops once you move the saber back. So that's battle mode. Now, in addition to that, you also have auto blast, which is a double press on aux and hold. Every time you swing the saber, you get a blast. You can get out of auto blast by any clash event, or you can double tap auxiliary. Now, I'm going to demonstrate color change here. To get to color change, you have to ignite using the buttons. Don't ignite in battle mode. And once you're in, once the blade is on, you press power and toggle aux. Now you're in color changing mode. You twist the saber to get whatever color you want. When you get the color you want, just press power, and that selects your color. And even when you use the power button to turn on the saber, you can still turn it off with the gesture control. So that's pretty cool. So if you stand by, we'll show you the internal chassis on the Battlebrick over here, which is basically set up the same way. And we'll give you the button instructions on your Graflex, and your Graflex will work the same as your Battlebrick. So thank you, everybody, and you continue watching. We'll see the rest of this and the button instructions on this. Alright, this is Sarmiento's Battlebrick, and what I do to kind of expose this chassis is I've been undoing the hilt body here at this break, and then that exposes the chassis. Now, of course, you have your buttons on the outside of the saber here and here, and I'm going to wake it up.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, Director.
And you can see you've got accent LEDs that go here in the chassis, and when you ignite the saber, Like tip drag blasters. But let me show you something. So you can, of course you can see it shining blue down here, but you can disconnect it, and then you have buttons here. So this is your power button. Let me get a pointer so I can point here so you can see that. This is your power button, and this is your auxiliary button. So you can initiate, we can go to the next font by clicking the auxiliary button here. And you see you've got a different animation now. You've got a red animation. Now you've got a different animation. This is white, and when you activate it, it should go to green. Blasters.
It's treason, then.
I think this is your energy.
It's worked so far, but we're not off yet. Smooth Jedi.
There's your Ghostbusters.
Smooth gray.
There's a fire blade. There's your real flame blade with the background track you requested. Should be your Kylo flame blade. You can see I've got it doing a fade on and off for your Darth Plagueis thing. This is your thunder and lightning blade, so if you look when I ignite it, you'll see the lightning and the clouds going by. So I use the same blade style in your accent LEDs. So battery died, but anyway, thunder and lightning blade.
A Mandalorian and a Jedi? They'll never see it coming.
This is your Ahsoka font. Which, by the way, the Mandalorian's background track on that.
Hello there.
Lightning blade. That's your gradient blade. There's one of your rainbows. So I did, that's got Cantina 2 on it.
Hello there.
And this one has Cantina 1. That's a rainbow blade. And this is your battery meter. And the battery meter also has the Mandalorian theme on it. And there's your first font on this saber. So, to put it back together, generally what I do is, and this only goes on one way, and I guess it's this way. So, there, it's back on. Be careful, you don't want to push down too hard, because this is very fragile how that's set in there. And then place your hilt back over your chassis and screw that sucker back on. And now, alright, so we've seen the chassis on the Battlebrick, and you know the buttons, you have a button on one side and a button on the other when the saber's assembled.
Be careful not to
This is the auxiliary button, then the opposite side's the power button. Alright, so this is Eric Sarmiento's Graflex, and this is going to be the button instructions. This Graflex is programmed on OS 5.7 with battle mode and includes SA22C's prop file with his particular buttons for the Profi OS. So this is your power button on the front of the clamp card, and this is your auxiliary button on the rear of the clamp card. Number 1, to activate muted, you can double click. And you can see it's activated in mute. That's your first function with the power button. Next, when the saber's off, you can activate by a short click of the power button while it's off. There's your activation. To retract the saber, you long hold until the saber retracts. Now, you can play and stop a music track by pressing and holding the power button for 2 seconds. 1, 2. That initiates a music track. To turn off the music track, 1, 2, music track goes off. Of course, you can wield the saber while the music track is going. Next, force effects. When the blade is ignited, double clicking the power will give you your force sound.
Now, release your anger. Only your hatred can destroy me.
And I'm going to retract. Next is I can get to the previous preset by pressing and holding power.
Hello there.
So that goes to the last preset. Now I'm going to go back to ESB.
The Force is with you, young Skywalker. But you are not a Jedi yet.
Next I can get lightning block, and I ignite the saber, and then I'm going to double click and hold power. Remember, double click gives you a force sound.
I'll never join you. If you only knew the power of the dark side.
But an actual double click and hold gives you your force lightning block. Now for melt, you hold while stabbing. That's giving you melt, which you can then twist. Now remember, in battle mode you have that automatic. You don't need any button presses. And to get into battle mode, when you if you can't get into battle mode without using the gesture ignitions, and that's a triple click on power. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
You have learned much, young one.
Now it's in battle mode. To get out of battle mode, a triple click and hold. 1, 2, 3. Now we're back in standard mode. Now, this back button on your clamp is auxiliary, and I'm going to turn on the saber. Blaster blocks are by short click. To get multi-clack, it's a multi-blast, it's a double click and hold. And then every time you swing the saber, you get a blast. To get out of multi-blast, double click and hold. Now no more blast. I'm going to turn it off. You can get to the next preset by short clicking this when the saber's off.
Graflex, TFA HD.
You can also ignite the saber, and by holding the auxiliary you get lockup, which is localized lockups on all your blade styles. Lockup ends when you release auxiliary. To get tip drag, you do the same thing but pointing the saber down, and you get tip drag. Again, in battle mode, you don't have to use button presses to get these. Next is to enter the volume menu. So I'm going to turn the saber off. To enter the volume menu, press and hold auxiliary for 2 seconds. 1, 2. Now we're in the volume menu. Power increases volume, auxiliary decreases. To get out of the volume menu, 2-second press on aux. 1, 2. Now I'm going to ignite the saber and reduce volume. Now I'm going to go back into the volume menu and turn it all the way back up. 1, 2 on aux. Power to increase volume. Two seconds to get out. Ignite the saber in full volume. That's the volume menu. So if you ever hear a bunch of beeps when you're touching the buttons, you're in the volume menu. If that ever happens, 2-second press on aux, get you out of it, you can ignite the saber. Battery level. To get the battery level, press and hold auxiliary while the saber is off and sit there and wait until you hear a battery voltage.
4.03 volts.
4.03 volts. So, those are your button operations on the Graflex, but those button operations also work the same on your Battlebrick as well. Thank you, Eric. Hope you like these sabers. Hope you get some enjoyment out of them. And, you know, they're loaded with new fonts and the new OS and battle mode, which are great features. These two sabers are ready to rock and roll. So I'll be publishing this video and sending you an invoice and shipping these things back out to you in Cali. Thank you everyone for watching, and may the force be with you, or the dark side as it were. Eric Sarmiento, I've got your sabers for you, but I want to show you something. I uncovered a problem on your Battlebrick, and you know, it had to do with your rainbow blade, but it has other issues. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to ignite. These are both in the same color. I'm going to ignite your Graflex that I built for you, and then I'm going to ignite the Pach store. Both in the same color. These blades both have the same construction. And now I'm going to give you Force Lightning lockup on this one and this one. So you're not getting full voltage to this. That's why your rainbow isn't working. That's why the other stuff isn't working. The Pach store install leaves a lot to be desired. Thank you everybody for watching, as usual. I really appreciate y'all tuning in on my channel. And as always,